Hi, Mr. Ford here, and welcome to Coding Camp Day 1.1. Content covered in this video includes using motion blocks to move your sprite around your Scratch, and using control blocks to delay your actions and end specific events. Let's get started. So here we are on Scratch, and you can see I have my sprite selected. I know this because down in the sprite icon on the bottom, you can see that the sprite is highlighted in blue, and there's a little garbage can there in case I want to delete them. And up in kind of the center top of my screen, you can see the sprite is sort of available here in this big gray open space in the middle. And this is where we're going to put our block code. So block code is essentially a list of instructions for what we want our Scratch sprites or backgrounds to do. These are the different actions we want them to do, and what we, as the player or the user, are going to do to tell the sprites or background when to do certain things. So what we're going to be going over today is how to get your sprite to move around your screen just with one click. And so we need to start off with an event. This event is basically what gets our instructions started. Are you going to press the space key? Are you going to press the flag icon? Are you going to click on the sprite itself? What is going to start this code rolling? What is going to make the instructions go through and basically read themselves, or have the sprite read the instructions? And so you can see there's a number of them here. We're going to go ahead and select when the green flag is clicked, and we're going to drag that into our coding area. And this is where we're going to do all of our organizing of our code. We're going to write all of our different instructions. Next, we're going to go up to motion. And here, motion is basically how you're going to get your sprite to move around. There are different blocks for different types of things. We're going to go ahead here and put in a turn block. And I actually want my sprite to do kind of like a big circle, like a barrel roll. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to put in a number of these turn blocks. And I'm just going to make sure that the number of degrees that my sprite turns when we're done is enough to be 360. So I know that 4 90s equals 360, so I'm just going to have it turn 90 degrees each time. Next, I'm going to go back and I'm going to take a look at some other motion blocks. You have go to, glide to. We're going to select glide to, and the reason we're going to do that is because go to, having your sprite go to a certain position, kind of looks like teleporting. It happens so fast you can't actually see it. And so if you want to actually have your sprite move somewhere, you want them to glide to that space. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select glide, and I'm going to have it glide just around the screen, glide to a random position for a few seconds, and then when we're done, I'm going to have it come back. So you can see I've put the if it touches the edge, bounce, just kind of off to the side. This is not yet connected to my block code. So what that means is until I connect it, even though it's in the tray, it's in my coding tray, it's not going to do anything. I have to connect it to make sure that my sprite will read it when that flag is clicked. Next, I'm going to finish off with glide back to a specific spot, and then finally I'm going to go to the control called stop, which means that when we get to this point in the code, everything stops and the sprite is waiting for instructions again. So let's give this a try. Go ahead and click it, and oh, we can see that we've had a problem. I wanted my sprite to kind of do a barrel roll. I wanted it to turn around a bunch of times, but it just started gliding. Well, it didn't actually just start gliding. It went through the code. But remember how I said if you use go to, you'll just kind of teleport. You'll be in one place and then you'll be in another. Well, turn does the same thing. If you want to be able to see different turns happen, you need to either put in a wait or you need to have them turn in different directions. So I'm going to go ahead back to control. I'm going to grab some wait blocks and I'm going to insert them in between my different turns. And now you can see we pause for a second and it looks like we're flipping around. And then we start gliding all over the place. You can see my character's coming into an edge here and they get bounced back out, and the timer just happened to end at the same time. So they went back to their starting position. And then the code is stopped. Now I can add in other events. I can add in other commands or buttons to click. I'm not going to do that for today. I can take off this code and I can put it over here and start looking up at motions for something else to do when it's clicked, and start putting in different commands. So you see I can have it just move over a little bit. I can ask it to do all kinds of things. And that's it. This has been Coding Camp Day 101. I'm Mr. Ford, and content covered in this video included using motion blocks to move your sprite around, and using control blocks to delay your actions and end specific events.